Last time I was in the Amazon, I took this boat trip with this guide. But this guy was really quite a fella. I don't know, this guy was constantly acting like he owns the river, and then he was constantly talking about an anaconda, we're gonna catch an anaconda. This anaconda is so big, he's worth a lot of money. He was constantly talking about this anaconda. And I was not really in the mood to catch a big anaconda. Why would I catch a big anaconda? That's crazy. So I said to him, just drop me off on the next village. But that took 4 days. Hello everyone, welcome to my review of the movie Anaconda from 1997. And in these kind of videos, I'm gonna review old movies, but movies that I have a special love for it, that have a special place in my heart, or that I really love them. And in these videos, while I'm reviewing the movie, I'm gonna express my love for these movies. And for the first video, I really want to talk about Anaconda. And the reason I want to talk about this film, because it's a very old movie, it's actually from the same year that I was born in. Yes, I'm from 1997, just like this movie. But I was not really planning on making a review on a big snake movie, but my local theater organized a special event, a sort of cult night. And what did they put on the program for this cult night? Anaconda. I was actually surprisingly pleased with this, because I never thought that my local theater would put Anaconda on the program. So I actually went to see this movie again. It was also a long time since I saw this movie, so it was nice to refresh my memory again and have a good time, this time in a group of people, all enjoying a great snake movie. And they don't really make this kind of movies anymore. And I mean movies released in cinema, because of course they are still making big croc movies, big shark movies, big snake movies, maybe some spiders, but not always in cinemas. Usually for the straight to video market, but these movies are not really worth your watch or your time. These are really terrible. And I know Anaconda kinda have a reputation now for being a trash cinema, I believe. I get why, but let me talk about this a bit later. And little fun fact, I actually have a DVD of Anaconda. And this is the first DVD I bought with my own money. I believe I was like 8 years old, and I saw the cover of this. I was really into all kind of creatures of crocodiles and snakes. And I saw this movie and I thought, I want to see this. 8-year-old me want to see this. And I saw this as a kid, and I was actually quite fascinated by it. I really loved this kind of movies as a kid. And Anaconda has always been a favorite of mine. And this is really a movie from the 90s, and back then we really had these great creature attack movies. We have Deep Blue Sea, we have Lake Placid, and we have Anaconda. And if you are really into our arachnids, we even have Eight-Legged Freaks, which is also a very fun movie. But let's talk about the big snake. And I was really pleased to watch this movie on the big screen. A big snake on the big screen. I really had a good evening with Anaconda. And like I said, Anaconda, a movie from 1997. It's directed by Louis Josa. And it's actually have a stellar cast. We have Jennifer Lopez. We have Ice Cube, a singer and a rapper who are acting now in the 90s. Yeah, I mean a stellar cast. It's not like, don't expect a George Clooney or Brad Pitt in these kind of movies. That would be a very surprise. But the casting of this movie is actually all well-known names. Not the biggest names, but they are also names that you know from other things, like Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube. You know from their music. You have Jon Voight, maybe the biggest name in this cast. Then you also have Owen Wilson. Yes, Owen Wilson is in this movie. Owen Wilson did actually a movie with a big snake. Wow. Anyhow, I believe it's one of his first movie roles. We also have Jonathan Hyde. Jonathan Hyde, also known him from shows like The Strain, one of his recent works. So there are some well-known names in this movie. And what I first want to talk about is the opening scene. And now that I rewatched the opening scene back on this big screen, I realized again, this opening scene is actually cool. And it really starts with opening credits, this opening text, and then the names pops up on the screen. There is this music, really cool opening theme by the way. And we have also these sounds of the forests. And then the camera moves to this boat. And on that boat we see Danny Trejo. Yes, Danny Trejo is also in this movie. And the camera is a snake in this movie. We already know that the camera is a snake. It's not that the movie makes a big secret what the creature is. It's an anaconda. And Danny Trejo is the first victim of the movie. But what makes this opening scene really stand out is this whole sound effect, the camera movement, and the opening theme. It really sets the atmosphere right. But don't expect a creepy movie from this point. Because Anaconda is absolutely not a creepy movie. It's not scary, the snake is not scary, so don't go in and expect to be scared. You just have to watch it for the fun actually. It's an entertaining movie. It's actually sometimes funny. Then the second scene I want to talk about is also at the opening, when our cast is coming together at the boat. And that's actually a cool scene to introduce every character separately. So in this scene we already know, well, more or less what the characters are going to be about. So that's very cool to have this scene. And I have to say, these characters are actually very well, there is a lot of variation in these characters. They are all unique in their own way. There are no characters that are similar to each other, and that makes it actually fun to watch their interactions with each other. For example, the character of Ice Cube, who has a bit of a rapper background from LA, and then we have Jonathan Hyde's character, who is the presentator, and he is a bit arrogant, he loves his luxury, and those two characters clash. And that's very entertaining if you have different characters that don't really match together. Also, I forgot to say about this movie is about a film crew, documentary film crew from National Geographic. They are there on the Amazon to make a documentary about one of the tribes living in the Amazon. And they are going with the boat on the Amazon. That's actually the movie. And the movie starts after this scene when we are first introduced to our characters. However, there is one character we still haven't seen yet. And that's the character of Jon Voight. He comes in later, they pick him up on the road, he crashed his boat or something, and he takes a ride with their boat. And Jon Voight is definitely the most memorable thing about this movie. He is more present, he is more bad guy than the actual snake in this movie. And that is both a good thing and a problematic thing in this movie. First of all, it's a good thing, like I said, he makes this movie memorable. If you think about Anaconda, you usually think about Jon Voight, his character. Sereno, I believe his name is in the movie. And he is really this crazy dude. He really acts like he owns the river. That's actually a line in this movie as well. And he is so present in this movie. And his facial looks at the characters, that's sometimes funny. And if you watch this in a cinema theater with a lot of other group of people, and yeah, people laugh at that. He is so hilarious. I think unintentional hilarious in this movie, and that is also a problematic thing because of him, this movie is not always a serious movie. I think that is one of the causes, because he makes this movie actually in a comedy. But that is also nice to see, because the things he do, like one scene he catches a fish and then with a machete he chops off the head, and then the things he say, it makes this movie hilarious, and that is both good but problematic. But the movie is actually a good movie because I love this movie, and the biggest reason that I love this movie is that this movie looks good. It really is like this adventure movie. We have our characters, our fun characters, and they are taking this boat on the Amazon, and the movie is also for most part filmed on the Amazon, and that really gives extra value to this movie. You really feel that you are on the Amazon. The locations are beautiful, and especially at a certain point they are on this location with the waterfall. That is one of my favorite scenes. The action scenes with the snake, with Jon Voight, are really cool in that scene. The third act is taking place on this abandoned building underwater, also a very cool scene. So the locations, the production, that make this movie really work. And also, for a big snake movie, it's actually not bad. Yeah, the snake, you can tell it's CGI for the most part. It looks fake, but I have seen snake movies with snakes that are more fake than this one. This is actually a decent looking snake. He's maybe a bit too big to be biological correct. Well, at least I hope snakes don't get this big, because that was a really big snake. And the snake kill scenes are actually very impressive. They are actually pretty much all the same, but it works. And the last positive for me that really makes this movie work is Ice Cube. I really love Ice Cube in this movie. He has an amazing character with Danny, and basically this character is the audience. Everything that the audience think Danny is saying or is acting that way. And that I really experienced when I watch it in the theater with this group of people. We are really feeling with Danny. We are Danny in this movie. And another negative I have in this movie that I really think now with this rewatch was really weird is the character of Eric Stoltz. He started off as a fun character, but in the movie something happens with him. He gets stung by a wasp when he is diving under the water to free the boat from... Yeah, the boat got stuck and he had to dive. So basically for the rest of the movie he is injured and laying in bed, sleeping. And then all the snake stuff happens and he is still laying in his bed, sleeping. I believe mostly unaware of what is happening. And then at the end of the movie, when the snake is defeated, when Jon Voight is defeated, he wakes up and like van, what did I miss? And then everything is alright, so I don't know. I was like a miss. Really wanted to see more of this character with all the snake action. And also this is really funny, because in the movie he is the expert of finding tribes in the Amazon. And he also said that to Jon Voight's character. I'm good in finding tribes in this Amazon. Then he got injured, we don't see him for the majority of the movie. He wakes up, and who pops up? The tribe they were looking for. Yeah. That way it's very easy to find your tribes. Eh? You were not doing much, you were just laying in a bed. So that's kind of an issue I had. Also, the remaining people that survived this movie, at the end they were pretty cool with all the dead people in this movie. They just continue with the documentary, so okay. But all in all, the movie kinda have a reputation now because yeah, it's not really a serious movie. It's a movie that you can laugh at. It has some funny moments because of Jon Voight about certain lines, but that actually makes this an entertaining movie. And because the location, it's actually a cool looking movie to watch. So Anaconda, I love this movie, and those are a bit of my reasons why I love Anaconda. This is one of my favorite creature features, and it definitely should be called a cult classic. Anaconda is amazing. So those were my thoughts on the movie Anaconda and why I love this movie. Always be free to share your thoughts on this movie below in the comments. Would love to read those. And if you want to see more videos of me in the future, always be free to subscribe to my channel. And till the next time.